You know, in ancient times, people died from so many different diseases and viruses because they just didn't have the medical technology. So, why are so many people dying now? What's up, people? So, today we are going to talk about this man, Mr. Bill Gates. Now, it's been said that him and Dr. Fauci were in cahoots with each other to aid China financially in creating this virus. I don't believe that. The man is already rich. Rich people know other rich people. You know, they talk. So to say that the rich people in the world suspected that Bill Gates might be trying to pull one and they sat back and did nothing, you know how many rich people there are? I don't even know all of them, but I know some of the big hitters, the heavy hitters. You mean to tell me that these people heard rumors and didn't tell our government? They played the black card and decided to stay out of it. Oh, well, that ain't got nothing to do with me. I ain't saying nothing. I ain't no snitch. Really? Is that what you're telling me? I don't believe that. I do not believe that. Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, Mark Cuban, uh, Elon Musk, and that's just the ones I know off the top of my head. They all have money. They have nothing to gain from this pandemic. Not to mention, think about it, people. Bill Gates created Microsoft. Almost every computer in the world, business or personal, runs on Microsoft. So the man has money. Why would I'm not understanding? Run that by me again. Why would he create a pandemic in China? Come on, really? Let's face it. Face the facts, people. The so-called Chinese virus kills older people and it kills people with underlying health conditions. It's not a conspiracy against black people. Okay? Uh, it's not a conspiracy against black people. Now, I can see why some people might say that, but to subscribe to that bullcrap theory, you'd have to say that Bill Gates is secretly a racist and him and Fauci decided, yeah, if we start a pandemic, we know those Chinese people don't like black people. Look how many Africans they kicking out of their country. We could give it to them. Then when it fails and spreads everywhere, we don't get the blame. Brilliant, man. I know. You know, I created Microsoft, you know. I know a thing or two about solving problems. That's just great. But will it work? Well, that's where you come in. You're the doctor. Yeah, you're right. Well, let me do some research and I'll get back to you. No, that did not happen. That's not even a dramatization. Bill Gates has gone on record as trying to enlighten the world on diseases, viruses. That's the whole point of the Bill and Melinda Gates thing. that they got going on. So, creating a virus that would destroy the fabric of humanity, leaving millions of people dead, more people shut in their homes, limited funds, no job. Really? It's like, here's a better analogy. Bill Gates wanted everybody to experience how it feels to be poor. There, you run with that one. Just let your imagination fly. All the years of colored people, people of color being broke, underpaid, not having enough resources to take care of themselves, their family. And he just said, you know what? These idiots, I'm going to fix this. I'm going to help create a pandemic that's going to crush the economic system in America and all over the world. So just for a couple of months, everybody would know how it feels to be broke and not have money to take care of your basic needs, not have health insurance, not be able to go to the doctor when you get sniffles. You really think he's that petty? You people are ridiculous. I could go on and on and on and on about my theories, but sometimes at some point you have to back it up with facts. I didn't write these articles. I'm not a journalist. But I do know how to read. And I'm not too bad at comprehension either. This is a recent article, April 27th, 2020. But they're discussing a situation that came about in 2015. 2015. And what's the question? In 2015, I asked Bill Gates a simple question. What are you most afraid of? Really? And some of you people out there think that Bill Gates was in on this. Well, if he was in on this, he told a couple of people. One of those people was Donald Trump. Another person he told was, where is that name? Where is that name? Oh, he was worried about another pandemic that would be as bad as the Spanish flu. TED. You remember TED? You know, that platform for people to talk about their ideas, their fears, their likes, their dislikes, their vision of the future. That TED, yeah. He went on TED Talks. I checked that out. The video does exist where he talks about pandemics, how they affect the world, and what he thinks we should do to prepare for any future pandemics. This was in 2015, people, when he gave this talk. He openly, out in public, told people, look, we got a pandemic in the world. It's not in the United States, but that don't mean that in the future it can't come to the United States. And what did people do? They ignored it like they usually do. And now it's real. now it's real. And people got the audacity to blame him, of all people, Bill Gates, the one that tried to warn us back in 2015. And yeah, I get it. Some people say, well, how would he know? How would he know back then it was going to be a pandemic? Um, there's a little company called the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And a lot of what they do is helping researchers and people, specialists, to create vaccines for certain diseases and viruses. This is what he's been doing since he left Microsoft. He talks to specialists all the time. Does he know Fauci? Of course he knows Fauci. Does that mean him and Fauci colluded to create a pandemic with China? So let me see if I get this straight. Trump, under no circumstances, colluded with Russia. But Fauci and Gates colluded with China to create a pandemic. Yeah, man, wow, that's killing me. That's wow. So anyway, people, this information I'm showing you is public. It is so very public. They're using words like TED Talks, medical journal. Those are public, open to the public. All you gotta do is research it online. Pick up a book. You know, books. We used to read those in school. Yeah. They didn't stop making them. They still make books. So yeah. You got to have the common sense to read everything but don't believe everything you read. However, old school theory, if you keep hearing the same thing over and over again, it's some truth to it. But you don't believe everything you hear. You got to know when you're hearing some bull crap as opposed to the truth. Until somebody gives me some concrete evidence that Bill Gates and Dr. Fauci actually did this treacherous deed, I don't believe it. What I do believe is that Bill Gates had a TED Talk because it's been recorded. Those are facts. That's not a myth. That's not fake news. He actually gave a TED Talk. And they seem to be very selective about who they let onto their platform. So, if that's the case, if he really did do this, then that calls into question the whole TED Talk platform. What other lies have they safeguarded from the American people? And what about medical journals? Peer-to-peer reviews. Oh, and one more other thing while I got your attention. Sometimes you can hear the truth and somebody takes it out of context and makes it seem like a lie. So yeah, a lot of stuff is true. It actually happened. But if you take it out of context, it becomes something completely different. So just screen everything that you consume mentally, intellectually. Don't just take the word of a few people trying to badmouth somebody. Think about when they tell you that this person did this and that person did that. Look at the history of these people that they're talking about. I mean, come on now. They said electric cars wouldn't work. They said Elon Musk didn't know what he was doing. But yet and still, Teslas are selling hand over fist. Maybe not as much as he originally envisioned, but you can't argue the fact that Tesla is one of the best selling cars in America, if not the world. Okay? So just pay attention, due diligence, you know, research. If they tells you somebody did this, that, and the third, do a little research on the person. See what they're about. And then pass judgment on them. Then look at their history and then look at what's been said about them. If the two don't match up, I don't care if you like that person. If the two don't match up, don't criticize that person. Don't put that person in a negative light. Okay? Now people all in an uproar. Oh, Bill Gates did this, and they said Bill Gates did that, and Dr. Fauci knew about it. Okay, well, Dr. Fauci is not the only specialist in the country. What about the specialist from Illinois, Dr. Nzike? She's pretty competent, and she speaks two languages, English and Spanish. So, in the medical community, she didn't know about it either? Or she knew about it, she kept quiet? Really? See, y'all trying to finger point at one person, but this is a global pandemic. There's no one person involved. There are multiple people involved. So, if you really believe that Fauci and Gates were involved in this plot, then you got to dig deeper and find the co-conspirators. Because if you're singling out them two, there's more than just them. He's the doctor behind it. The other guy's the money behind it. But who sanctioned it? Who put them to that task? How many people did he tell? It's documented, it's said, and it's probably documented that Bill Gates had a conversation with Trump way before all this happened, years before. So Trump had this information and did nothing with it. Then when it came up again, he still didn't do nothing with it. Then when it came up a third time, he asked questions, but they told him, oh, don't worry about it. It'll blow over. But the only person that I know outside of the medical community that could speak on this told Trump directly, and he didn't do anything about it. And the crazy part is, they both come from money. They both come from money. The only difference is, Trump's daddy gave him his money. Bill Gates made his money. But the ends are still the same. They both got money. They both rich. Two rich people sitting down talking to each other. Come on now. You really believe that Trump didn't know anything about this pandemic before it hit? That's a daggone lie. Look, I'm tired. My sleep is all erratic, just like a lot of you all. So, I'm going to talk to you guys later. Be safe. Be healthy.